That's good.
And we're live, warming up. The show will start in a few minutes. This is a recorded live stream. So if you're watching right now, just wait a few minutes and we'll start. If you're watching in the future, feel free to skip ahead as we manually reshare our links.
In your far off future, are you still in quarantine? How are things? Is civilization still standing? I guess it is because you're taking time to watch YouTube.
Okay, YouTube feed is running.
Meanwhile, I'm tagging Toby in the Facebook version of this stream so that it is shared on his feed. Almost. Yeah, so hang in there, folks. We'll get things started shortly. Just giving time for people to join the live stream discussion. And maybe you too would like to join us live one time. Just find us on Facebook or YouTube.
Okay, let's see the stream.
And if you feel like you're always missing out on when we're going live, and it's not enough to wait for announcements on Facebook and Twitter and the like, you can let us know. And if we are Facebook friends, we can add you to the Facebook Messenger group that we send a regular notification to, provided Toby can find the chat, because sometimes it hides.
Mm-mm.
You sent it also to the Dracula dossier?
Yes,
Okay.
definitely.
Just checking. Yeah, we were trying a lighter delivery schedule this week, so we only had 3 streams this week, which is still not bad. Um, and it's just as well because oh my gosh, it's been such a busy week.
Mm-mm.
Work is very work.
Whoop, whoop.
Didn't quite figure out where you wanted to go with that one. It's like a close, but then not quite, and then you committed, but then I don't know.
Our game is something new called Ocean to Ocean.
Is it the video?
I don't know.
It's a song. It's a new. It's
It's
an
a new-
album.
It's a new album. A new album. Oh, it came out already. Okay, I'll have to look this up.
No, it's scheduled to be released on October 29.
Oh, sorry, I didn't see. I was looking at this one.
So
September.
Jovan is watching while her meats marinate. Not a euphemism. And then Kenny is on YouTube. Hello, Kenny.
I guess that's good enough to start.
Sure,
Make
we'll
the
get
most
things
of our
rolling.
time.
Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Oh yeah! Really great!
This is Toby.
And this is Rocky.
And if it's your first time here, welcome to Baduy Pride, a little space on the internet where we talk about anything we want.
It's completely unscripted and not entirely accurate, but at least it's honest. Join us as we talk about everything and anything random live.
And if it's not your first time here, thank you so much for joining us again. This Friday, we're talking about Halloween parties because we are still in quarantine. We're
So we
still in
won't have
lockdown,
one.
so we don't think we'll be having one. But we might as well talk about them, options, alternatives, things we remember, things we miss. And I guess it's better than dwelling on the present.
Not depressing at all. Okay.
The Halloween. I hate that people jump past Halloween and start talking about Christmas.
That is true, and then that's a uniquely Filipino problem. But as much as there's the statement about the Burr months
Mm-mm.
always being like heralding the beginning of our Christmas countdown,
Mm-mm.
I feel like it's only in more recent years that it's super amped up to be full on celebrating Christmas things already in September, as early
Mm.
as September. Because growing up, while people would make the Burr comment and you
Mm.
would maybe see the news do a countdown until Christmas, but the malls did not like change. So
Yeah.
I feel like that's a more recent thing, at least, or
I
in
mean,
it
at most in the past, the Burr months were because it was starting to feel colder.
sorta,
Because
yes.
summer has finally ended, the rainy season,
The
which was
rainy
the
season
Burr
had
months.
begun but yeah, then like the real kickoff of rainy season, you'll feel it most in
Mhm.
August, I find, because I had many a school examination delayed due
And
to
then
rain.
Halloween always had a tricky place in the Philippines because being the predominantly Catholic country in Asia,
Mm-hmm.
um, you have the extremes of people loving Halloween so much that you have kids dressing up as Chanaks and dead babies. But then you have the other extreme of people finding Halloween to be a pagan practice and it's evil and satanic. So no, we will not celebrate it. And in many ways, I feel that might have contributed to why Christmas has overtaken Halloween completely.
That's true, and it doesn't help that it's sandwiched up against All Souls and All Saints
Mm-mm.
Day. So then, like the you may have the younger generation sort of celebrating Halloween as a festive
Hi,
party,
Princess. Hi, Mikey.
but then everything is also sandwiched against. But by November 1 and 2, people got to be super religious because they're
Mhm.
visiting the dead. So
And just so everyone knows, if you're watching while the live stream is ongoing, feel free to comment. We shall make your comments part of the show.
otherwise, if you're watching in the future, how are you? How are things there? Let
But
us
still, feel
know.
free to comment, and we'll try to comment back when we see it.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, Joanne shares that a neighbor has requested her to appear in costume so that her granddaughter, for the granddaughter who has yet to experience a proper Halloween party. And that's interesting.
So Jovan, will you be like in Raptor, but then you'll reveal the other new costume for this year? I don't want to spoil it because you might be planning to surprise people with it.
Or like, will you have
Careful.
funny socks?
Yeah.
So all these things.
So Halloween, um, earliest memories of Halloween.
Um, no, I remember trick or treating when because there was a early point in my time we're in the U.S. I
Mhm.
remember trick or treating in the U.S. But it's funny that I have, and then I have photos of me wearing a store bought Spider-Man costume,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't remember wearing the costume for Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember vaguely having it on at some point in my life. I don't remember going trick or treating with it.
Was it
Um,
because you didn't want to use it as a costume and you saw it really as something you should wear for
I
reals?
also had no idea who Spider-Man was
Oh.
because I was like 2 or 3.
Mm.
So then I didn't really like have an appreciation for comics yet or reading. So it was like, okay, I'm dressed as this character.
So for me, the idea of dressing up in costumes and the like started very early
Mm-hmm.
because um, um, as early as kindergarten in Tahanan in CLC Learning Center, um, we were already doing a lot of theatric stuff and
Okay.
plays and stuff. So we were like dressing up and playing roles and this and that. So when the concept of Halloween was brought in, we were already super eager. And I'm sure even at a younger age, um, mom and dad probably had us dress up for Halloween, but I don't really remember it as much. Um, one of my early costumes, yes, was Jesus Christ. Um, because it was also one of the portrayals I had in the earlier years. I did the storm, where I told the story of how I had to cross the river, the waters in the storm, and all
Oh,
that.
and then like you were having a good nap, and then you wake up and hey, why are you all panicking? And then shut up, Storm. That story. Most colloquial retelling of the the quelling of the storm. Yeah.
But my first stage thing was in pajamas with a stuffed toy because that was the Nightmare, which was a original piece my mom wrote,
Okay.
if I remember correctly. Um, but then beyond those, costumes were a blur of vampires, of whatever monster that they would pick up. It wasn't until much later when I started to become more of a geek that I really started to pay attention to the costumes I'd wear.
Okay.
And one of my favorites was my multiple attempts to try to dress up as one of the aliens from the Alien movie franchise.
Hello,
Hey,
Noel.
Noel. That
Jinx.
involved black socks to cover my arms, paper mache for the head, nylon wire to connect the end of the head to the tail so it swishes when I move my head.
Okay.
Um, Really ill-conceived barbecue sticks covered later with cardboard to be the long nails,
Okay.
which then poked me a number of times throughout the night. Black socks that I sewn paper underneath so I can walk around with black feet. But of course, stupidly, that did not last the night in the streets.
Oh. Okay.
And then eventually, attempting to make it a full body thing rather than all these piecemeal things. Um, Trash bags,
Yeah, you told this. You
which
mentioned this.
became the sweat oven of hell, where I became super dehydrated. But then I was sweating through my costume so much that anyone who touched me, slimy, and I'm like, just like the movie, awesome.
Kenny shares he dressed up as a mad scientist for junior prom Halloween
Mhm.
party, brought glass vials for props, broke and injured a classmate. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Here's an, one of those early alien attempts. See,
Wow. Is this who's dressed as? Is that Spawn?
so that was Ryan, my first GM ever,
Oh,
the guy who
okay.
does comics now, and then this is Quincy and Oliver.
What are they dressed as?
They came as their own thing,
Oh,
but they
okay.
had four arms that literally launched baby rockets.
Oh God.
So they
Okay,
had
that's not
they
safe
had
at
work they
all.
had working missile launchers, and I was like, I was an alien in office pants. But yeah, that's black socks there to cover my hands. And
Okay. I feel sad because, of course, like most of my photos of my youth are locked away in the family house and
sorry,
possibly termited
of
away.
course I found this.
Oh my God, what happened to you there?
Remember when I was telling you about the wasp that bit my face?
Oh, okay, okay. Unrelated to Halloween.
Yeah, but I was like, why is it there?
I mean,
Okay.
like, if we just talk about costumes, like, I mean, apart from like that dressing up, I mean, like, there were early, like, there were school pageant type
Mm-hmm.
things, and then in kindergarten, when kindergarten here, sorry, I say that because I attended kindergarten twice. I
Mm-hmm.
attended kindergarten in the U.S. and then kindergarten when I got here to acclimate. Uh, and then I was. It is only in hindsight that I fully appreciate that I was like the leader of the bad guys
Mm-hmm.
in this weird alien play thing.
Mm-hmm.
So in our we had, and then it had like this very generic black costume with like
Okay.
orange accents and neon. So we looked really good in black light. And then I even had a crown. And then I had one stupid line, which was Sundalong Itim. And
Okay.
we charge from the audience
Mm-hmm.
to get up to the stage. And on the night of the production, Sundalong Itim, my sword knocks my crown off my head. And
Oh
so I'm fumbling for my
no.
crown at the very beginning of the sequence.
Oh
It is
no.
captured on video in some old family video on a
Mm-hmm.
VHS, and then you see the whole fumble, people crowded over trying to help me, and then finally running out, and then like my biological fathers are shaking his head, and then like,
Mm-hmm.
this is how this memory is forever burned out.
Mm-hmm.
But it was okay. It was like, but at the time, because my Filipino was terrible because I
Mm-hmm.
just gotten back from the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea what I was saying.
That's okay. My Filipino is still terrible.
But yeah, but it's like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I just vocalized the syllables and did
Okay.
not know what I was saying.
I get. I
That's
get.
why it's
I get.
only afterwards like, oh, that's what I was saying. We were black soldiers. It's like, oh, we were really the bad guys. I didn't know.
Mhm.
We got But what was cool about that costume is that remember when Everready had those official laser swords?
Mm-hmm.
Like Everready batteries, you could buy that classic red flashlight.
Mm-hmm.
But then this one, they came with an
That
attachment
yeah.
that had the sword. So
Yeah.
those were our swords.
Mm.
And then we had the cool laser fight, and they'll dim the lights, and we're all like doing that. And then, of course, you trying to. I was very serious and trying to stick to the choreography,
Hmm.
but these are kindergarten
Everyone was just
students. It's like,
swinging the way they want.
yeah, and obviously we did not get to win. Okay.
So Noel shares, I don't even remember wearing a costume for Halloween, even an O-Bar Halloween ball. Never really knew what to wear, so there. I remember planning for the ball to come as a Transportify driver. Tinuloy ko ba yun? I don't remember.
I don't
No.
remember that.
We
So
only we
so
only
so
really
nauna pa
remember,
ako mag-transportify
yeah,
costume.
because for Noel, we remember Noel more um on those few times he opted to go in drag.
Which was more a pride thing than a
Yeah.
Halloween thing.
And we were always
Yes. It was great. It was very well done. Um, and so, but it's okay. They have a large gap of like, it didn't have a lot of Halloween events. I mean, like,
anyone
okay,
else do share your Halloween costume experiences.
yeah, I mean, like, cause, and I mentioned this before, like, so we grew up in a fortress,
Mhm.
really tall gate, don't
Mhm.
interact with the neighbors, you
Mm-mm.
don't know where they've been, all
Mm-mm.
that. So we did not go out for Halloween.
Mm-mm.
We also didn't live in a gated community.
Mm-mm.
So, yeah, I love Teachers Village, not to be confused with Teachers Camp.
Mhm.
But Teachers Village was okay, but we did not interact with our
Mhm.
neighbors, especially as kids. I did not play on the street and all these
Okay.
things. So then I had no Halloween thing. I had some random, you know, school stuff for costumes. There is one cool one where my aunt's daycare center, which was in the compound we lived
Mhm.
in, had a Christmas thing, and then they made me a robot costume,
Okay.
which was basically boxes wrapped in foil.
Mhm.
And then I was
I think we've all had a boxes wrapped in a foil
because
moment in our
then
lives.
including the box with the circles,
Mhm.
it was fun. And then I
Did you
had
have a panel with the batteries?
no, okay, it wasn't that.
I had a panel with the batteries.
That's your Bosconian side. And then but the whole thing was I had to offer a gift to the
Mhm.
baby Jesus,
Okay.
and the idea was for him to give a transformer, and I felt very weird about this, but okay, so I offered my triple changer.
Okay.
I got it back after.
Well, at least you did offer Megatron. You might have been pointing a
I did not.
gun
I
at
did not own a
the
Megatron
baby
growing up
Jesus.
because he was a gun. So, so it was the triple changer that turns to a helicopter into a sand
Mm.
buggy,
I love that.
sandstorm. Okay.
Okay, Javan shares one of my earliest encounters with Toby was a Halloween party at Hard Rock Cafe. Yes, famous pairs. I came as Sayid, but everyone thought I looked instead more as, oh my god, I can't remember his name. The Penny partnership, not Penny's boat. What was his name? It's at the tip of it. What's the name? You know the name.
No, I don't.
Yes, you
You're
do.
the Losty. I appreciate it. I learned to appreciate Lost after getting together with you.
I wasn't Charlie. I was the other guy. The guy Charlie was trying to signal to. Desmond. There you go.
They thought you
So
were.
everyone felt I was Desmond because I had longer hair and my outfit, but I was actually trying to be Sayid without the blackface because blackface is bad. Jovan came as Spy versus Spy. Yes, I remember, and
I've
we do
only
have
seen
photos
this
of
in
that.
photos. It's super
And it
awesome.
was awesome because it was like the cone paper, which they would just hold so it would look like a mask. It
Mhm.
wasn't like a mask the whole time.
Oh, okay. I
So it's
didn't
a
know
very
that.
convenient way to do it without making it exhausting.
Yeah, because it is still like Hard Rock Cafe. You want to eat and drink, so
Yeah. And then there was a later Hard Rock Cafe event where I was the Silent Hill nurse. And I was very proud of that costume, as ugly as it
I
is.
should be concerned at the number of times that Toby has put on a nurse outfit.
Hey,
Hey,
yes, there is a good number of times I have put on a nurse
it is
outfit.
true. It is true that nurse outfit got
Well,
mileage.
that Silent Hill nurse got mileage. It was
Okay,
pretty
okay,
popular.
okay.
Yeah. So Noel adds Christmas is drag.
It was Christmas.
Gigi did the makeup. Mukha raw niya si Kot.
Corey Quirino.
Hi Mitch. And then what else?
Kenny was asking, could we do an adult Halloween party? I mean, like, what is an adult Halloween party?
Well,
Because people do Halloween parties as adults.
yeah, first is the question, can we meaning Baduy Pride or can we meaning in general can there be adult Halloween parties?
Because okay, and I don't. It really depends on how you define it, but I'm pretty sure that many adults continue to have Halloween parties. In
Well,
fact,
I
hence,
guess the adult Halloween party would be, it's naughty concept costumes.
which again super happens. Hence the whole range of sexy insert profession here:
Mm-mm.
nurse, doctor,
Or the
student,
more
whatever.
direct ones, like you have people really dressed up as
Dress up as an
things that
STD,
would not pass in a public event.
Yeah, yeah. But it's um I've never been crafty enough to be in costume for many things. So
Mm-hmm.
like there was in my working life, in my call center job, the first year we had a costume thing. um the team that I was part of did go out and
Mm-hmm.
we rented costumes, and then I don't know how we ended up in kimono, Japanese geisha-ish kimono things with the pillow and everything. But I didn't like have a wig, so I didn't. It wasn't drag, but it was just weird. So um there was that, and then other years I don't remember doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't help that I rose to a supervisory role very quickly. So then I could like wave off like I don't have to do this thing. You guys do this, and then
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna work.
Yeah, I always have my meltdowns, but
Oh,
I love trying to
oh,
come up with
we gotta
costumes.
talk about
I
the
love
meltdowns.
finding ways to make costumes. And then I get meltdowns when I'm frustrated that I either overestimated what I thought I could do, or I'm stupidly trying to do something in a way which I know is inefficient. For example, a lot of costumes are awesome and easy to do if you have a sewing machine.
Mm.
So to stupidly believe you can hand sew things overnight is a stupid thing to believe, but I will, of course, still try. Second, there's a reason people use glue guns,
Mm.
but stupidly, I will still try to use different types of glue
Or tape.
or tape or
I
combinations
mean,
thereof.
like I like the year. So the first time Toby and I wore costumes together, we attended that another Hard Rock
Yeah,
Halloween
that was a
party.
superhero
It was
themed one.
superheroes. So then we did Midnighter and Apollo, and then
Yes.
Toby went through multiple iterations of my headgear
Hmm.
until finally it became this
We crafted it out of duct tape.
yeah, electric tape.
Yeah,
It
electric
was
tape.
like electric tape molded around my head.
It was a weird paper mache attempt using electric
No,
tape.
but wasn't there a beanie as a base? I
Yeah,
remember
there
there
was a
was a
beanie in the
beanie as
base
a
because
base.
that was meant to grab
Give it
your head.
shape. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
to be able to grab the head.
But but I don't know, every time Toby gets into a costume making frenzy, um it really you can plot it like a consistent like it's the yes it's coming along, yes it's coming along, no it's not going to work. It's
It's
like
terrible.
why did I think this would work? Rah. And then it includes destroying the first range of prototypes, you know.
You know what? I blame cartoons.
No, no, you blame Sesame Street.
Yeah.
The guy, no,
The
no,
pianist.
no, no.
No,
Yeah, the piano guy.
I
He
hate
goes
that.
through this, and then like and I just learned to like I wait up with him and like it'll be okay. It's like don't just and then eventually he'll come through, and I'll probably go to sleep. I go to sleep once he has found his second win
Yeah.
and gotten past the meltdown, and then it'll be all like when I wake up, there's like look what I am, and then okay.
Mm.
Okay, so Noel says his costume this year, if ever, would be a Lola with little needles. So you're
Mm.
ready to go. And then
So
um
Noel, lines na lang sa mukha yung kulang. Everything else okay na.
Princess is asking about 70s disco Halloween parties, like dressed up for a 70s disco theme or 70s disco
Yeah.
party. I mean,
So that was
we
common.
should talk about theme,
Yeah.
yeah, Halloween themes.
So a 70s themed thing was common before because 70s was such a
It was far
um
enough.
and it was such a distinct look.
That's true. That's true.
But now, given we're in literally 2021,
Yeah, then like would you do
I
a 90s
yeah,
themed
why not?
party?
Because you now have people who are dressed like they're looking like Matrix. You'll have people and
Elephant pants, guys. I want to see elephant pants. I demand elephant pants.
then you'll have what else?
Oh, I'll attach
You'll have
chain to my wallet.
cargo shorts and um,
And I need a pager.
topsiders.
A pager and a phone that doubles as a bowling pin. One
Because
of
the
those
70s
Nokias.
is no longer like the only thing with an ideal look. An 80s party can still work too.
And I think it also tied to the fact that was this those were looks that because you could ask your parents. I mean, it was
Yes.
that
It was
generation.
a throwback thing to ask, like, what did you wear
Yeah.
back
Or
then?
worse, if they had stuff available in the
Yes.
house, then you could do it.
Yes.
So now, sadly, as we are in our adulthood, then we are the throwback. We are the generation to throw back towards, whether
Mhm.
it's 80s or 90s. And
Mhm.
it would be interesting. Okay.
And then what else? We cannot, of course, also ignore that with the presence of cosplaying as now part of our zeitgeist. You know, you now see people in costume and you realize, oh, my cosplayers. There was a point in time wherein the moment you see someone in costume, your first instance is, but it's not Halloween.
Mm.
And now you see someone in costume, okay, a cosplayer. There's no weirdness. There's no question about
Yeah,
it.
it's like every time you go to SM Mega Mall pre-pandemic, you would assume that sooner or later you're gonna run into someone in the costume because there's almost always
An
some
event,
event at the Mega
yes.
Trade Hall. So
But now it's even more than that because now the idea of self-expression has gotten to the point that there are some lines that do intersect with what look like cosplay, in the
mm,
sense of when people cosplay, sometimes they try to cosplay as certain characters in anime that are not necessarily out of this world, right? You'll have characters in school gear with pink hair. You'll have characters in normal clothes, but then maybe there's an excess of chains or something. And some embrace that as a fashion as well.
oh, and I know we said when we talk about Halloween parties, but let's continue a bit on costumes a bit longer.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have weird things like because of regulations and rules, then people find creative ways of getting around it. So
Mm.
there, I've been fascinated. One of the things that if you're into theme parks, then you'll eventually cross into the weird world of Disney bounding.
Yes.
So officially, you are not allowed as a guest. You're not allowed to wear costumes of Disney
Mm-mm.
characters while at any Disney
Mm-mm.
property.
And this is
How
a security thing.
Yeah, it's all so that you don't appear like you're pretending to be a member of the staff.
Yes.
But so you have people who dress in the color schemes of popular characters.
Mm-hmm.
And this phenomenon or whatever, or this movement is called Disney bounding. And it's a whole thing.
So
Um
it's like you're in the boundary of it being a costume, but
yes.
you're not in a costume.
Yeah. Right? So
Let's
I
show some images. Let's show
oh
some images.
so let me get the tab open. And it's just it's so then it's this classic, like, so it's not even, it's also not limited to Halloween, but it's just so like I just happen to be in a blue skirt, an orange shirt, and a
Mm-hmm.
yellow cardigan. It doesn't mean I'm goofy,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then let me sorry, layout change, get us in the corner. Uh so things like see, I'm in a red top with these pants, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm not Winnie the Pooh and Gaston's. And so it's yeah, then just because I'm in red pants and a black shirt doesn't mean I'm Mickey Mouse, but it's close enough. So it's funny. So there are a lot of ways that like people interpret and embrace costuming. And then I guess similar to drag, many people are also empowered by like
Mm-hmm.
uh, adopting costume personalities.
Because the idea of a costume itself has changed.
Mm.
In the past, it was wear something because it's funny, wear something because it's crazy. Now it's wear something to express yourself. And, you know, there used to be um, the definitions of what used to be wearable in public and what was a costume have totally changed with the
Mm.
passage of time.
That's true.
Jovan shares there was an 80s themed costume
Party, I guess.
party before at the now defunct rock gig venue. Everyone went as a pop rock culture icon, Robert Smith, Michael
Devo.
Jackson,
Mm.
Devo. I went as an EDSA protester in my yellow Ninoy shirt. The youngest Marcos person was there in the event.
Hmm.
Good job. I would have gone as a tank.
So, things of this nature. Then, um, so okay, so back to parties though.
Hmm.
Then like
Hmm.
so did your family have actual like Halloween events other than trick or treating or dressing
So
up?
Family, yes. My mom would have Halloween events. It was more masquerade. So it was more the paper mask, the
Okay.
adults, the punch bowl, the music
Okay.
and food. And then in the latter part of the evening, we kids would then have our Halloween parties. So I used to always have these insane parties that would last till dawn. Um, I would dress up the area of the house. I think I still have some pictures of it. We're in. I'd spend like a day or the day before on newspapers painting stuff, and then I'll tape all of those on the walls. So when you
Okay.
enter the house, it looks like the house was graffitied over. But yes, it's safe because it's on newspaper. Um, I'd hang everything from cellophane to a big mistake, papel de Japon from the ceiling.
Okay.
And big mistake, we'd later learn that that stains when you're sweating and dancing and all that.
Yes.
There were parties where
Hmm.
we sort of create a tunnel of horror.
Okay.
So, like in that garden area, we'd suspend blankets and curtains. So
Okay.
you'll have to walk through that area, and then there'd be scary stuff waiting. Or there'd suddenly be a crawl space, and you'll have to crawl and this and that. And there was a lot of booze. So my college friends, generally would do a lot of Halloween parties with us. High school, not so much. I did have a few high school parties, but I was still more the weirdo than the geek when I was in high school.
Hmm.
It was the latter part of high school that I was getting more into partying and stuff.
So I had none of that. Sorry. So
Hmm.
drawl. But and then I don't know. And then I think I've always had a bit of an admiration and interest in like people who would do costumes well, and
Hmm.
that would always be nice. But then I never felt like I would be that person, and so yeah, because like the hard rock thing was like that was cool. So
Hmm.
that was like the first like, oh my god, it's like a very serious costume.
Hmm.
So that was like my first like legit costume.
And then I guess a little trivia is in one of those Hard Rock Cafe events. Do you remember that we have photos of Eva and the other drag queen there? Because
I don't think I was there because I only attended the one. I only attended the
also I guess
superhero
it was
one.
just me.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I looking at the old photos, there were photos of Eva and the other one being Imelda and Corey
Mm.
as one of the contestants in the event.
Oh,
So I
okay.
was looking back at photos, like, wait a minute, I know these people. Princess Summer shares what I want to dress up as Donna Summer from Bad Girls album. But which music artists that are mostly in common on Halloween parties? Is it MJ?
I
So
don't.
for a time, Michael Jackson, because of Thriller, was
Yeah.
a very staple Halloween party music.
I think now it's like because there are so many artists that are more accessible
Hmm.
because they don't you know because the sort of costuming of pop artists has become less severe because
Hmm.
like you can dress up like Britney Spears by dressing up like a schoolgirl, for
Hmm.
example,
Hmm.
or boy bands were all just in pants and whatnot, and so
Hmm.
there are a lot of I feel like there are a lot more artists now that are sort of quote unquote easier to pull off,
Yeah,
and then that's what so it's really a question of the theme, though. I think.
and Michael Jackson as music for Halloween was a staple back then because of Thriller. The Thriller
Mm,
album was really the you hear the album play, oh, it's a Halloween party.
yeah,
Um, Later on, that kind of really just faded away, and people just played dance
music.
music.
Yeah,
There
yeah.
wasn't really any attempt to have scary music per se. Now, though, I don't know if that will still be the case because it seems like there are some musicians who seem to be some artists who are starting to come up with songs that are trying to hit those type of themes again.
I don't know. I don't know because excuse me. Because I feel like at least the last few. I mean, of course, we typically would go to Obar, but then like there's still that like need for clubs to be sort of mass market,
Mm-mm.
and then um and then I think that there's a thing that Halloween has become less about scary and just about costume.
Yes.
So I think that's an interesting thing that's changed over time. Where
Yes.
before there was a bigger highlight on like ooh spooky, scary ghost stories, whatever, and then now it's always just like Halloween is
I
fun.
feel there should be a separate holiday for that. Like you have cosplay day or you have costume day.
Well, it doesn't help though. Like then you get popular work culture where things like even Christmas, there may be a theme for the
Yeah,
Christmas party. Then
exactly.
people have to dress up, and it isn't necessarily full blown costume for most, but some will put
Hmm.
that effort. So then you then it there so there's a lot more like costume events. Then it doesn't make Halloween feel as distinct.
But I miss the fact that there used to be a day that was all about scary stuff.
Mm,
And I
mm.
feel that's something that would be such a loss to, if it were no longer something
This
identified as
is
that.
all part of the conspiracy to Christmas take over all holidays between September and
Well,
December.
it was a pagan practice. Jovan shares, I like making my own costumes. I don't know how to top last year's Plague Doctor anymore.
Your Plague Doctor Mask is very awesome.
Yeah,
Very, very awesome.
my attempts at making my own costumes are hilariously funny. Um, like that last minute.
Okay, because to be fair, most of your costumes in recent years are last minute, no time costumes.
I like my penguin.
Oh my god.
Can we show it? Can we show it?
I have to find it.
It's on
Okay.
Facebook. I like my penguin. I was proud of my penguin. I wasn't proud of my carrying the cheerleader on the back one. That was terrible. But I like my penguin.
It was a fair
And
attempt.
then I really like my tomato.
Ah,
That
okay,
that
yeah.
was I was very proud of that. Albums. It should be an albums. Um, the Dave Grohl one was passable.
Because that really doesn't need effort for you.
Oh, it doesn't appear. I have really terrible.
Yeah, you
I'll,
don't.
I'll look it up. I'll look
No,
it
no,
up.
no. It's a so just keep talking about a day for scary things.
So yeah, and then we had our funny Obar costumes. So one of the ones you tried sharing was the picture of us being people from Sims.
Yeah, which
Um,
was a good like low hanging fruit
and
costume.
then we risked the wrath of our friends when we dressed up as Mon and Rupert.
So we dressed up as the owners, which was like kind of bonkers. But it worked out.
And
I have suddenly
then,
forgotten what I'm looking for. Wait, which costume I'm looking for?
so there's the tomato and there's the penguin.
Okay, okay, okay.
I can help look for it.
Wait, okay, okay. No, no, no. I can just dig through mine because I took pictures of everything. Um, So Noel's like suggesting a Google Meet, maybe. Yeah, we could do a Halloween thing. And then Tristan saying some Catholic schools frown upon scary Halloween costumes because unchristian. Yeah, so there's definitely the resistance from the Christian side of things that gets in the
Mhm.
way.
And that resistance is expected because there is that correlation of thinking.
Was the penguin
Um,
Halloween or Christmas?
oh, I don't remember.
I know it was an office thing for you, but was it Halloween or Christmas?
I think it was Halloween.
Okay, okay. Then I'll go to October.
I found the Mon Rupert
Yeah,
one.
I saw those. And those heads are still in the house. It's literally these giant printouts of Mon and Rupert's faces on thick card. Okay. Oh boy.
But beyond that, we didn't really have much. Um, what was our other Obar costumes? Do you remember? Other
We did a
than the
Breaking
Sims,
Bad
the
one.
Breaking Bad. Yeah, that was fun too. That was fun.
That was very uncomfortable.
Yeah, it was very warm. We had to like super powder ourselves down before we wore the costume.
Yeah, that all it's like totally like just in your underwear powder your entire self, then insert yourself into
Hmm.
this costume. And yeah, we survived. We survived. Uh, why can't I find it?
But then we didn't really wear that many costumes out of the house.
Yeah, yeah.
Although deep down, I still have dreams of dressing up as, you know, no face.
Was this Spirit of the Way No Face?
Yes. Choo-choo-choo.
Why is it so hard to find this?
I know. Funny. Okay, I found the penguin. It's Christmas.
See, okay, that sounds. I knew it was a weird time.
I'll send it to you in Messenger so it's easier for you to show. Okay, sent.
Okay, I just pull up the messenger one. Okay. Sorry, thinking about sharing. Other tab. Is it this one?
I'm sorry. I'm seeing it. I'm laughing.
Yeah. So this was, I guess you could say it's predominantly a makeup job more than a
Yeah.
hollow than a costume. But
Because again, it was another last minute cook
yes,
something up. Had to go to the neighbors to ask for black makeup.
yeah. And then you draped our sheets to make this snowy background
Hmm.
because it was a Zoom, because a Zoom call type Halloween event. So then you only really need to dress up
The
until
rainbow outfit.
Noel was saying the Halloween ball at Obar is pretty competitive. I appreciate how in recent years the Obar Halloween event has gotten pretty
Hmm.
crazy. I mean, like, because there was a time like people weren't like really putting any effort, and
Yes.
then
And then there was this explosion of people suddenly trying to
yeah,
one up each other,
which
and that was
is
awesome.
super awesome, and I kind of envy that. But uh, costuming at Obar is a unique challenge because you need a costume that will still allow you to enjoy yourself
Hmm.
and yet survive the press of people because the Halloween party is a big event and it's going to be super super full. So there is a unique design challenge involved there to get that to work. Okay, Dennis Ching is here and he says you were like a Madagascar penguin. Very likely, very
I
likely.
sent you the link to the one that Jovan mentioned.
Which one?
It's the link to the pairs, and then
Ah,
I think that's the one where we'll see Eva and I'm looking now for the tomato one.
okay. I will share. Oh, I shared the wrong tab. Sorry. Wrong tab, wrong tab, wrong Facebook tab. So this okay, but yeah,
There, see, it is the paper noses were held
mm mm. It's very cool.
brilliantly
It's very
done,
very cool.
and then there, see, it's Eva and I
Oh,
forgot his name.
okay. Oh,
Small world moment.
yeah. Okay, that's cool. What? Oh, and this is when you were saying you were supposed to be Desmond
Sayid.
Said. I see. Yeah, that needed a bit of work.
Yeah.
But it's cool. But I guess you're selling. Well, you have an oceanic ticket. Okay, okay, that's cool. That's cool. All right. So, office Halloween events. When I was in my call center years, though, then yeah, in my call center years, office Halloween things would always consist of
Hmm.
multiple things. Number one, dress up your station.
Hmm.
So whether it was individual, but typically, especially in call centers, it's a team level event.
Yeah.
So your team will
It's
have
like a
to,
station or a corner.
yeah, it's like where your cubes are. You'd have to decorate them, and then um, typically there's a theme that has to be followed, and then that's what you would have to try to implement.
Hmm.
Then there would be the family friendly trick or treating event in the morning, which is weird for a call center.
Hmm.
So it would be an end of shift thing that there would be kids going around the office. So it was this like it benefits the support teams, but majority of the people have gone home because we've been working all night. So I never quite understood that. And then sometimes a party, but
Hmm.
then like not so much. So and then it got more complicated like because by the time it hit Halloween in my first call center, we were the first night shift group. The rest were daytime.
Mm-mm.
So then we couldn't decorate our stations because they were shared stations.
Ah,
So they assigned us like reception.
that's
They
tricky.
assigned us the reception area, and we had to dress that up. But it was very strange.
Yeah, we had similar dress up the location things back in when I used to work at ABS-CBN.
Mm-mm.
So, of
Uh,
course, us being the art group, we went full, transformed the whole place into
so
like an
of course the
entrance.
question is, you think people would dress up as the characters from Squid Games if the show was popular? Oh, totally. And Squid Game, well, the more likely is going to be Squid Game guard costumes
Yes, because it's
because
easy to buy it.
they double as money heist costumes with a different mask. So
Mm-mm.
it's totally. I mean, it would depend on the what Halloween events there would be. So we're not allowed to have gatherings of any sort,
Mm-mm.
unless people wear costumes and watch a movie at the same time, but not necessarily be together. Then that's one way of doing it. But we cannot gather in a home if we come from different households. So it's funny how the things work out that way. But yeah, but I figure, like, for those who are free enough to do Halloween events, we're probably gonna see um, TV based stuff from a lot of Netflix shows like this. So that's
And
that's cool.
and I think for many, the point of the costume is that people recognize what you're
That's
dressed up
that's
as.
the thing, and like that's always like the challenge to me too. Like whenever we think about a costume, it's like you want a costume that people are gonna get, that people understand what you're doing.
Because
Because
if it's not something they'll recognize, you feel like you're the only one wearing it and no one else really gets it. And
yeah, yeah.
like this one, when I was
I was about to
just.
say when you were that 2 dimensional Greek warrior thing,
Mm-mm.
Toby's costume only made sense in profile, and he had to constantly like move in profile so that people could see his costume. Office thing. So,
I can't find
um,
my tomato.
yeah, I know it exists as
The,
Facebook photos only. That you were tagged in at the time because you didn't get to take your own
yeah, I
photo
know.
because you were just as a giant crab.
Mm-mm.
Which, man, that was a primo meltdown. that meltdown. That was really like,
Because the shell wasn't working.
and it's always the line. It's not working. It's not working.
And then when it worked, it was brilliant.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, I don't know about this year. Like, what are people thinking about for Halloween? Because okay, and last year we kind of like, we dressed up. We dressed up in Halloween, took photos, but then it
Mm.
just felt funny because we didn't go anywhere and we were just at home. We had some fun because we got to post some stuff on social media. But then, like, very shortly after, we were out of costume.
Mm.
Like, we were just okay. Then let's play board games and
We,
let's
we
just
did it
focus.
very briefly.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, when there's no one to play it off against, it doesn't
Yes.
feel as fun to do.
So I think if we were to break down elements of a fun Halloween party, then
Mm-mm.
it's one thing to be in costume, but it's another to like have a venue to
Showcase it.
showcase your costumes
Yes.
and get other people to appreciate what you're doing. I mean, like, I know we like
Sure.
we have friends who would meet every year on Halloween,
Mm-hmm.
nearby, and then they would all show up in costume, and that's pretty cool. Different ways of celebrating. So we didn't really. So I don't know like this year if I feel up to it, like, because now, like, should I just like do a Zoom filter type thing instead, and like, okay, I'm wearing something.
And there's no denying that it does take effort.
Yeah, yeah.
You'll still have to find whatever to wear. You'll still have to find, you know, what will fit, what will work best.
And it's hard to go out now. I mean, like, yeah, part of the fun of costumes, I find, is not necessarily buying a costume, but trying to buy as little as possible to make a costume. And then maybe this is just a personal challenge that, the way we end up doing it. Because you don't want to buy something you're only going to wear as a costume.
Mm.
Like, I mean, like, you don't want to buy like
At
an
least us.
off the rack shirt and turn it into a costume just for a year.
Yeah.
So you kind of, we're trying to be a little practical in that regard. And then um I guess that's always the balancing act for how to do these things. So I don't know for this year. what are people? What are you guys? So there's like maybe 6 people on the stream right now. Do you have Halloween plans? What are you thinking of doing and stuff? Like I know at the office we're making some plan. Man, this the nearly 2 years of doing these online events, we're getting a
Mm-hmm.
lot better at it and like being more creative with what we can do and how much people can handle online. Um, so that'll be something to look forward to. That's the thing. That's like it's funny how before you could map out like a whole night party for
Mm-hmm.
Halloween, but then now that everything is like an online activity, we can map out maybe a 1 to 2 hour event,
Yeah.
and then I feel like two
But
hours. 2 hours is the max you can go because then people are just tired because we've
yeah.
already had so many calls today, and then we're gonna do this one.
And
So
then it's just such a strain to have nothing but the camera to talk to. Even if there are people reacting and stuff,
yeah,
it just still doesn't have the same exchange of energy.
it's like now, like I mean, like had Toby and I not been living together, then I doubt either of us would have been as open to do something like Baduy Pride.
Mm.
Because to do this like alone, so hats off to all you YouTubers and streamers who, you know, talk to a
With
camera
super
with
energy.
super energy and all that dynamism, and then you are, as much as there's text scrolling on the screen when people chat, it's not the same as talking to people.
Mm.
And um any public speaker performer would know like that difference in energy, that difference between engaging with people in person versus engaging with people online. So that I think that always like curtails the possible fun
Mm.
of online party events. Um, just the challenge of getting everyone to turn on their cameras at the
And
same time and
and
all
there
that.
and that added frustration of, let's say, the party's going well, and then as you're talking to someone, bandwidth issues
Mm,
happen, and then
mm.
everyone's like waiting. "Well, okay, we lost him. Okay, I guess we'll continue without." And it's just really frustrating when those things happen.
Yeah, yeah. So it is very tricky, but that is the reality we are currently in, and we'll see how we'll continue to make the most of
So
things.
given that, um, we probably won't be doing a Halloween event thing. Um, we don't foresee fully dressing up for anything.
Yeah,
Um, if if we have friends who are having any events, it's always, we'd appreciate any invitations, but we can't promise we'll be participating. Sometimes out of mood, other times out of just so many darn things to do.
yeah. And then even things like this little things like we haven't even felt the urge to drink in a long time.
Mhm.
It is not one of my coping strategies, and I fully appreciate that I am truly a social drinker, and I like drinking at events together with friends. But
Mhm.
then like outside of that, it's like why am I drinking? So I don't chase the feeling. And I
Yeah.
know I think I've said this on this show a few times. Um, so then like that's not the fun for me for Halloween. So I mean, but I guess we could try drinking like if friends wanted to drink, but I don't know. I don't know. Such a long year, ladies and gentlemen. Such a long year. Actually, 2 years, but we'll just say year for now. Um, so what else? What else can we talk about for Halloween
So
parties?
options. Of course, the standard is you still have an online party.
Yep,
You all dress up from at home.
an
You
Inuman.
all just showcase what you're wearing on camera. For groups that are more into really challenging yourselves, draw inspiration from what shows like RuPaul's Drag Race did. We're in. Have each one commit to, let's say, a 30-second show where they are free to use whatever they can, effects or whatever, to come up with something cool to see on camera.
Yeah, and just work within the confines of
Your
what is
screen.
visible in your camera. So
And
that could
that
work.
can be a creative, fun thing for people who do love, going the extra mile for costumes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Alternately, you could do a virtual tour. Um, your group did a virtual
Oh
tour to
yeah,
Paris. I'm sure there are other virtual tours to places that might have a Halloween feel.
There
Maybe
is
there's one in
there's a
Romania.
Jack the Ripper tour in London.
Exactly. So you could imagine you could all dress up as if you're in
Victorian
Victorian
times,
times,
whatnot.
and then you can all go on that online tour to watch it. So it feels awesome. Didn't you have people dress up for the Paris trip?
Yeah, hence I was in stripes
Hmm.
because pseudo pseudo whatever thing. I didn't have a beret, and I don't eat bread, so that was as close as I could get.
What else? You could try horror themed escape room activities together.
Oh, there are a lot of online escape rooms.
Mystery
Yes.
Manila also has their own. What is the other one here? Um,
And because it's online, you don't even have to limit yourself to local ones. I mean, there are a lot of like international or even
mhm.
just regional ones that we obviously we tried a Singaporean one last year.
The one with the werewolf.
Yeah, yeah, that was tricky. That was tricky. So there are different things you can try.
Online
Um,
escape. Yeah.
Javan mentions they did a drive-by Halloween. People passed by the apartment with their kids and gave out treats. This year's low key just the goddaughter and the compound kids. Okay, yeah, I mean just like online escape. Any recommendations? So we haven't done any of the local online escape rooms, so we don't have
Mhm.
first-hand experience. But it'll on the whole it'll be something different to try. So you can go ahead.
Mhm.
Um, in terms of there aren't a lot of great board games I would recommend for Halloween that you can play online. It's a little tricky.
Yeah.
Because even games that we like Dracula's Feast is a social deduction game that
Mhm.
means people need their cards.
And then even the online, the ones that use the browser, the escape room stuff we use, it's still not as fun if you can't hold it and look at the cards.
Yeah, yeah. So even things like detective and whatnot. I mean, those escape room style things,
Mm.
they rely on you being physically together to experience the board or the cards together.
Oh wow, Noel shares. Did you see the video of the Halloween escape room in Australia? It's like you have to escape while a killer is chasing
Ugh,
you. Ooh,
it's
that sounds good.
stressful.
I would like that.
Differences in
I would
reactions.
like also something like that, but then it's like dinosaurs or aliens chasing after you.
You're really obsessed about your Zoom background. Toby's favorite Zoom background at the moment is him being chased by a dinosaur while he's in a Jurassic Park style jeep, and obviously it's still in his mind.
That's my dream costume. Those Velociraptor suits. I want one of those. Not the inflatable one, which is still awesome.
No, he wants the one like walking with dinosaurs
Yes,
horns.
the one that's made of that latex thing. So latex silicone mix. So when you're moving, it has those realistic bobs, and then you have your feet exposed, but then it still works. Ah, they're so beautiful.
This is this is not the first time that Toby has mentioned he wants
But
one of
my
these costumes.
dream crafted somehow costume would still be True Guy.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I
Toby still
still,
wants to dress up as
I
Tube
still
Guy.
want to someday dress as True Guy. What else? What else are other options? You could do an old-fashioned ghost story circle moment. You
Mm.
and your friends with your alcohol. Everyone dim the lights, and then actually, what you could do is you could all have your lights on. You're all on the Zoom call or whatever video
So it's only
conference
the
using.
light of your computer.
But then, as you're telling your stories, each person starts killing off one of the lights. So as the stories progress, it's getting darker and darker. Ooh.
That's a quite a clever idea. Yeah. Okay. Um.
There,
What
you
else?
could have what you call this group watch parties where you all watch a horror movie.
Oh, that's what we're trying to map out for the office.
Bonus points if you watch horror movies like Unfriended, which is about horror stuff happening
That was one of the
on
earliest
web
horror
camera.
movies that the office watched together, and but that was like in our pre-pandemic period. So
Mm.
I don't know why we got so obsessed with Unfriended. It didn't help that we're in a digital marketing agency, so our life is all Facebook and
Mhm.
whatnot. So okay. Yeah. So yeah, watch parties is one option. Also, it's just a question of the logistics and like finding a way to watch a single source of video that is synchronized with
Mm.
everyone. Not as easy as you think. And then or crazy things like I don't know, like I saw this TikTok video for how to make dalgona candy.
Mm.
Then make your own candy. Why not? Make a sugar solution
Yeah,
and then play your Squid Games
yeah.
online.
You could play a Squid Game with all of your friends. While on camera, you could come up with a list of games to play, and As each of you play them, someone gets eliminated. It could be as simple as everyone has a pack of cards, you all shuffle it, and then you all pull out the card. Lowest card's dead. And, you know, play through a new game, and this time it's dice, and, stuff like that. You can be creative in that way.
Yeah, it's just you just there's a will, there's a way. Um, you can push through things, and uh, it's just a matter of creativity, and if you have the mental headspace and motivation to do so. I mean,
Mhm.
like we recognize that it can be quite tiring. Like, oh my god, this has been a very long week for us, so
Mm.
we get through. What else we have to? And Halloween this year, I know the date falls funny. Yeah, so Halloween itself is a Sunday, so not bad. Like you could figure out Halloween activities for that whole weekend. So that's
Mm.
one thing to do, and maybe culminating on Sunday, or at the very least culminating on Saturday, because you can't stay up too late on Sunday. There's still work on Monday. So yeah, I'd be curious to know if you guys have plans or stuff. I don't think we're doing anything on the Friday. We
Yeah.
haven't figured out anything what we're gonna do for the Friday before Halloween. So if you, I don't know, have ideas, want to hang out, let us know. We would be probably open to figuring something out. And then it's like things like I wonder, because I have a monthly game night at the office.
Mm.
So now it's like now I feel obliged to do murder mystery party on Jackbox as
Mm.
one of the games
Mm.
that we'll play, just to have fun. Then of course like a haunted church Halloween. It's a very
That's
specific theme.
well. There we used to do that. Like in Tahanan, there was that supposedly street where there was a white lady and all this and that. So on Halloween, we would walk to that street. In BF Homes, there was the road, Concha Cruz, where supposedly if you drive fast enough and look in the rearview mirror, you'll find someone behind you. The joke was because that would be the BF home security chasing after you for driving fast in a residential area. And then there was a point in time that me and some friends did drive all the way to Balete Drive for
Mm.
a Halloween trip. And it was the scariest trip of worrying what we'll see. And when we got there, we saw a lot of people had the same idea.
But Baleta Drive is totally demystified for me, only
Mm-hmm.
because my grand aunt, she had mental concerns, so
Mm-hmm.
she was like at a halfway home that was in that area.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a street. I forget if it was parallel or perpendicular to Baleta Drive.
Mm-hmm.
So we were always there. So we would, and then best thing about that grand aunt, her birthday was Halloween.
Mm.
So we would have to be there around Halloween every year. And so when people finally put, ooh, Baleta Drive, oh, we drive by that like
We
every
go.
year. We go there at Halloween, and we have to get Magnolia ice cream because she specifically likes the chocolate and the vanilla only from Magnolia.
So totally no horror.
Totally no horror. Well, I guess the only horror is that okay, those people were kind of as a child, it's like a little creepy because they were people with mental challenges,
Mhm.
um, and then things like my grand aunt, would say that she could talk to Napoleon. So it's
But
that,
in the end,
yeah,
that's what it is, right? Horror only works if, to the very least, you know enough
but not
to start
everything.
speculating.
Yes, and you let your imagination fill in the gaps.
Which is why kids aren't afraid of water or darkness until we start telling them may mumu dyan.
Mm,
Uh,
mm.
so
Or guard, guard. And they're afraid of guards. Okay, so yeah, be careful what you do to your kids. Don't
mhm.
don't kill those fears. Okay.
So yeah, so I guess that's our recommendations of options that you can do for this 2021 still locked at home Halloween party.
Yeah, at least we're here. But hey, again, you could all dress up in costume and watch a movie at the same time, just not sit together. Maybe. What if the theaters can figure out their rules for movies?
But the true horror is the fact that there are still many people out there who will be partying who probably have not been vaccinated and have no plans of wearing masks.
Ooh, it's scary. Too real, too real. Okay,
Too
so
real.
yeah.
Is fear a social construct? No, fear is an impulse, it's a survival instinct. However, what we are afraid of is a social construct.
One.
The Uncanny Valley is
So,
still the weirdest one, though.
yeah.
Why are we afraid of things that look almost human?
but not quite human.
Why is
We
that?
sense the
Why is that
artificialness, the
a
fakery.
general universal fear?
Gentry, gentry, gentry. Okay,
What
so
did we see that looked human but wasn't? They probably voted a certain dictator in the past. That is our episode for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. We had a lot of fun and we hope you'll join us again next time.
for questions or suggestions for future Baduy Pride episodes, fill out the Google form at bit.ly Baduy Pride Ideas. You can follow us on Twitter, Altobi No Shade, RG
You could
Sunico.
also check out our blog, baduypray.com, for all the previous episodes and stuff about us. Sorry.
Feel free to continue the conversation in the comments below and let us know what are your favorite Halloween costumes or party memories, or do you even remember those parties? Were you too wasted? Let us know. And be sure to subscribe for notifications, whether on Facebook or YouTube, so you don't miss our next live stream. Once again, I'm Rocky.
And I'm Toby.
And
And
this
this
is
is
Baduy
Baduy
Pride.
Pride.
Good night, everyone. Mwahaha.